Hello everyone, with the Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Friday evening, November 14, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section, but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. The U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 6:29 p.m. Jamaica time shows that tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days, and this is the reason why not really much of anything across the Atlantic these days. Some troughs here and there, some frontal systems here and there, nothing trying to get organized and acquire the next name on the list, which is Nestor at all. Alright, so regarding the surface map, let's load up that so that we can see what's really taking place across the Atlantic. It's definitely going to be highlighting the frontal systems up north, and even the visible satellite imagery definitely going to be highlighting that as well. So the surface map right here showing that across the northern portion of North Atlantic extending down into the Bahamas, Cuba, we're still watching frontal systems toward them. At that up in there, we see the ridge of high pressure just to the southeast of it that's responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds and the low to mid-level clouds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, we can make out those entities. We just saw them on the infrared, now we're seeing them even better on the visible. The frontal systems right here extending into the western Caribbean, Cuba into the Bahamas, a lot of cloud sheds and thunderstorms up there for sure. And we also make out the low to mid-level clouds being steered from east-west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today. That is Friday, November 14, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast for northeastern parishes in Jamaica during the morning, also affecting sections of some southern parishes during Friday afternoon. I don't know, when we're talking about northeastern parishes, we're basically talking about St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and the St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? At around 5:25 p.m, the visible satellite images were posted not only here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page with the Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you cannot afford to miss. So we can definitely see the clouds that are bringing some overcast skies, if not some isolated thunder shower activity across eastern, central, and western parishes. So definitely across the northeast first, then some of the activity started to spill into section of southern Jamaica, and we see the sparkling yellow that's in there that will represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. But the weather pattern shifted a bit from the northeast to the flow to more of an east to west kind of flow. So even eastern Jamaica started to pick up on some of the isolated shower activity, and then we still had some thunderstorms across some central to western, especially the southwestern parishes for sure. And the visible satellite images of Jamaica definitely confirm this, showing where we had the thunderstorms today. Let's put this into motion. As you can see, thunderstorms across especially central and western parishes, with that upper level wind shear blowing the cloud tops off towards the east, all courtesy of that wind shear from the west. Upper level winds definitely strong, and the infrared right here definitely confirming where we had that thunderstorm activity today. All of these blues, greens, yellows, oranges, and reds represents the cumulonimbus cloud cover, and we can see all of that being pushed out towards the east. Definitely bring more overcast skies section of eastern Jamaica today, and we can even make out the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across sections of St. Elizabeth into northern Manchester, northern northern Clarendon for sure. And we even saw some isolated thundershower activity right here off the coast of Hanover too. And if we take a look at even the Jamaican Doppler radar imagery from earlier today, we can see where we had that rainfall. Look at these greens, yellows, oranges, even the reds. They present some light to moderate, even some heavy rainfall across section of northern St. Andrew, northern St. Catherine into northern Clarendon. That definitely spilled into section of northern Manchester for sure. Definitely confirming where we had that rainfall today. And we're pleased to announce that we have a brand new camera here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel. This is the brand newly installed Outages live cam. We're pleased to see it. We've been dying for a live camera up there on the north coast, and it's finally here. And as you can see right here, a lot of people in their vehicles going about their business. Definitely sunny to partly cloudy for the most part. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place at that time. And I hope this camera is here to stay for sure. Definitely going to be interesting to see what the future holds. But definitely fair conditions for the most part today. And if you'd like to see this live stream, just go over to See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today to this channel so that you don't miss out. And even the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website is confirming where we had that rainfall today, especially across some northern parishes in the morning, then across sections of some southern parishes, especially the central to western parishes during the afternoon. And we definitely had some comments that came in here from some of our followers today to confirm what the weather was like in their area. On our Facebook page, we had Tomisha Edwards. She posted 2 hours ago stating, "It is raining in the western hills of St. Andrew since this afternoon, very heavy." And I'm glad that she confirmed all of these colors that we were seeing over here in the hills of St. Andrew. Definitely some heavy rainfall for sure. And even Al Chin stating, "Steady rain in my area." I wonder what parish that is. That was posted 3 hours ago. Alright, so that indeed confirms what was taking place across the island for today. Let us reload the very latest still image here from the Weather Nerds website, the latest Jamaican Doppler radar imagery, the latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar imagery, and the latest Cayman radar. We want to see exactly what's taking place across the island right now. And the latest still image here from the Weather Nerds website is showing 0135 UTC, which is actually 8:35 p.m. So this just came out 12 minutes ago, considering that it is 8:47 p.m. right now. And as you can see, across the entire island, we have some whitish shades of clouds from the eastern end to the western end. Definitely highlighting that we had some rainfall earlier today, but most of these clouds are starting to dissipate. But do we actually have rain bands underneath these clouds? Only the Jamaican Doppler radar can confirm that. The Jamaican Doppler radar looks like it glitched out because it is showing 2313Z, which is actually 1113 UTC time. If it is 8:48 p.m. right now, I think that it should be showing around, let's say, 5 hours ahead of us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it should be showing around maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock right now here on Jamaican Doppler radar, but it's not. It is still showing the 1113Z, so it's not up to date. It's still showing earlier today. So the 1113Z would actually be around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, around, let's say, 6:13 p.m. So this was what was taking place. Some decent rainfall across southern St. Mary, southwestern Portland, northern St. Andrew into northern St. Catherine, even some rainfall across sections of Manchester into Clarendon. That was what was happening. And the Cuban Doppler radar looks like it also glitched out at around 5:10 p.m. We can see what was taking place at that time. Some greens into the yellows, maybe some light to moderate rainfall, but nothing to do with bad weather at all across the far eastern end. Maybe some isolated showers just to the east, but nothing much to really worry about, especially across the Kingston City area. Alright, the Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar confirm where we have that rainfall across section of southeastern Cuba, some isolated showers just to the east of Jamaica and to the north of Portland. If we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can make out some rain bands right here to the northwest of Hanover. Some rainfall actually affecting portions of the Cayman Islands as we speak, pushing in from east, northeast, west, southwest. So they're definitely getting on some rainfall with more to come. regarding the live camera here from C Jamaica's YouTube channel. The Ultra, well, not the Ultra Race, the Barbican live camera. As you can see, people walking about, going about their business. This looks like a man walking with what looks like food. That's two people right here crossing the road. Definitely dry conditions taking place across the Kingston St. Andrew area. Nothing to do with bad weather taking place at this time. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we're 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Saturday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Saturday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Saturday. And we can see Jamaica embedded in the grays as well as some light shades of blues. The grays represents 0 on the key here on the red, that's average temperatures. The blues represents below average temperatures, and it looks like maybe 1 degree Celsius below average. Very interesting. I'm sure many people would be happy about that. The average temperatures, as you know, for the month of November is around 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 31.1 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30.1 to 31.1 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Saturday. And we're grateful that we don't have any maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS online Twitter page that we have to worry about, because you know they're still out west trying to restore power to those persons affected by Melissa. They stated here today, restoration update. Day 16, 67% of customers restored. We're on the job 24/7 and won't stop until 100% complete. That is very good, and I hope that the people get their power in time for Christmas for sure. If tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you still, even although we're expecting at least 1 degree Celsius below average temperatures tomorrow, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others including children, elderly people with medical conditions and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day, and I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugary drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those red. And we can see the dry air extending all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. We also see some dry air right here off the east coast of the US, extending into the Bahamas and the Gulf. A lot of dry air. We know that the dry air is responsible for basically shutting down the weather over in these spots, basically making it harder for it to rain. But wherever we see the blues, that's where you know we're getting on some moist air. A lot of moist air. We have this frontal system right here, another frontal system right in here. And the moist air extends down into the Greater Antilles, the Western Caribbean, Central America. We can see it into Northern South America, into the southern main development region, where we have what looks like a trough into the intertropical convergence zone right in here. And that's what we don't really want to see. We don't want the moist air at all. We want to, you know, especially in Jamaica area, you know, get a little break from all of this moist air action. Regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, we're looking at September 15, September 16, well, not September, November 15 to 17. As you can see here, the basin should be in the clear, even although we have some slight Saharan dust coming off of Africa, pushing into the main development region. That's on the low end of the scale, the slight greens. We know that the Saharan dust is represented by the greens, yellows, oranges, and pinks, and we don't see much of that at all. We know that the Saharan dust can definitely cause hazy skies and trigger respiratory illnesses such as asthma and sinusitis in some persons. So we're indeed grateful that we don't have much of anything to worry about regarding the Saharan dust. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that majority of the Caribbean shaded in the slight blues to blues that represents from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1, maybe 1.5 meter wave height. And that's because of the easterly flow of winds. Looks more northeasterly across the Bahamas into Cuba and portions of the northwestern Caribbean. Looks more easterly across the eastern to the central Caribbean, averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 knots at most. The wave forecast for Jamaica tomorrow: to the north of Poland, 0.8 of a meter wave height; to the north of St. Anne, 0.7 of a meter wave height; to the north of Hanover, 0.8 of a meter wave height; to the south of Westmoreland, 0.5 of a meter wave height expected; to the south of Clarendon, 0.7 of a meter wave height expected; while to the south of St. Thomas, 1 meter wave height expected. And that is because of the winds that are expected tomorrow. We see more of a northeasterly flow of the winds tomorrow, that's Saturday, coming in like this. So you know, sometimes we get some night rain, if not some morning rainfall, especially relief rainfall on the north coast of the island, especially the northeast. And then during the afternoon we have that daytime heating rainfall. Wherever we have the least amount of wind, that's where we get some of these low level clouds to become mid-level rain clouds, if not cumulonimbus clouds. And with the upper level wind still coming in from the west, we could see some more of this tomorrow, some more thunderstorms, especially across the south coast. And then when we get those clouds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, you know, the upper level wind shear takes over and pushes those cloud tops up towards the east, just like what we saw today. And the actual rainfall forecast maps here, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS, are both showing 8 a.m. Jamaica time. And what do we see? Blues represent rainfall across the waters to our north on the Euro. GFS has them brushing the north coast, affecting us. So we're definitely working with what the GFS is showing. I see sections of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mirror, Portland, even eastern St. Thomas shaded in the blues for morning rainfall across those parishes. So get ready for that. The Euro is having more of the rainfall out to sea, but wouldn't be surprised if it is definitely in line with what the GFS is showing. So that's rainfall in the morning for northern Jamaica. Then during the afternoon, the Euro has the entire island shaded in rainfall across eastern, central, western, especially southern parishes with the dark blues and the greens. The GFS has the very same spots shaded, the eastern, central, western parishes, especially the southern parishes that has the strongest signal for rainfall. So get ready for that. If you're planning on doing laundry, get it done early and get ready for afternoon rainfall. So you know, run and pick up those clothes before they get wet. And even the total accumulated precipitation for the next 24 hours are in agreement that there's going to be some amount of rainfall across the island. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Saturday. The Euro going up to at least 0.33 of an inch of rainfall. Could be more out west where we see those oranges. The GFS up to 0.38 of an inch of rainfall. We'll see how it actually plays out, and whatever happens, we just have to take it. We're in the month of November, and in Trelawney we usually receive 198 millimeters of rainfall this month. That's about the same as 4.7 inches of rainfall, while in Kingston we usually receive 137 millimeters of rainfall this month. That's about the same as 5.4 inches of rainfall. And if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of November or for the entire year, just visit nomadseason.com, and that website will show you that information. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS Supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go out to the next one, John 68 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. Alright, so as you can see, 12Z on Sunday is actually 7 a.m. and we see some moisture surrounding the island, the eastern to the northern to the western end. Then on Sunday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, western parishes. Does the GFS show the same thing? Sunday morning, rainfall to our north, rainfall across the far east. Then on Sunday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some, it looks like mainly central and western parishes. What do we see on Monday morning? On Monday morning, we're seeing rainfall out west, rainfall across the eastern end. Then on Monday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes. What do we see on the GFS? For Monday morning, rainfall across the northeast, rainfall to the south of us. Monday afternoon, rainfall looks like across sections of some southern parishes. We'll see. What do we see on Tuesday morning? Tuesday morning, rainfall to the west of us, rainfall to the north of us on the Euro. Then on Tuesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What do we see on the GFS? On Tuesday morning on the GFS, we're seeing rainfall to the southwest of us. Then Tuesday afternoon, not really much of anything at all. What do we see on Wednesday morning? On Wednesday morning, we're seeing rainfall across some northern parishes. On Wednesday afternoon, we're seeing some rainfall across central and western parishes. What do we see on the GFS? On Wednesday morning, we're seeing rainfall to the far south of us. And then on Wednesday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across some northeastern parishes. What do we see on Thursday morning? Thursday morning, not really much of anything, more west than anything else. Thursday afternoon, same thing, not much of anything. Then we're going to be stopping it at the end of the one, just 68 hours. So we want to stop it right about here, which is representing Friday, November 21. And we actually get back into some of the rainfall on the north coast. We also see what looks like a decent looking frontal system across the central US extending down into the Gulf. And what is this? Is this something that's trying to acquire the name Nestor, or is that just some kind of subtropical low? Either way, we see a red L up there, we see a lot of moisture. And does the GFS show something similar? Will the Hurricane Center have to highlight a code yellow within the next 7 days? What does the GFS show? First of all, Thursday morning rainfall across the northeast. Thursday afternoon rainfall across some eastern and northeastern and southern parishes, basically the same pattern. Then we're stopping it right here at the end of the 1 John 68. So this is valid as well for Friday, November 21. Some rainfall across some eastern, northern and western parishes in Jamaica. And we're actually seeing something up there, a lot of moisture across the waters to the far northeast of the Caribbean. So we see something here trying to spin up on the euro to the far east of Bermuda. The GFS only showing moisture, and I'm pretty sure that if we go on the Atlantic main development region forecast, we might see something over there, but we're not seeing it here on the western hemisphere. Map will say it actually plays out over the next 7 days. And even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS are still in agreement that the most rainfall should definitely be wherever we have the dark reds into the purples into the pinks, especially across section of northern South America into portions of Central America. That's where we're still seeing some crazy rainfall totals. We're talking about anywhere from 2 all the maybe 5 or more inches of rainfall, maybe up to 6. And we see that even the Euro model is showing something similar, even still incorporating portions of the Yucatan and Belize in some of that. While other areas that are still shaded in the green, yellows, orange, and red should be getting in on an inch of rainfall or less for the most part. The close-up of Jamaica showing more blues into the greens, into the slight yellows that we know represents anywhere from 5 millimeters all the way to maybe 30 millimeters. The Euro only going up to at least 33 millimeters of rainfall. The GFS going up to 30 to 40. Even the oranges represent maybe 50 millimeters. Right here to the northeast, we see a 66 right there. We'll say it actually plays out. Yesterday, the GFS was showing less rainfall than the Euro, so now we have a flip. We'll say it actually plays out, and whatever happens, I will definitely be here to keep you posted regarding what's happening across the rest of the Atlantic. Not really much across the Caribbean. Still watching that frontal system extending down to the Bahamas, Cuba, Central America. If we take a look at the Doppler radar imagery down there near Puerto Rico, though, what do we see taking place? Not really much of anything. We see some isolated shores in the green in and around the Leeward Islands. And if we know these images from earlier today, what did we see? Some rainfall across second of western Puerto Rico. Some moderate to heavy rainfall at that. Regarding the Barbados rainfall, just some hit or miss isolated shores in and around the area, nothing serious. Some rain bands right here pushing from east-west into Dominica, maybe Martinique. Some rain bands to the north of St. Vincent. Some rain bands right here to the east of Trinidad and Tobago, pushing in already to Trinidad and Tobago. The weather wave Doppler radar images also showing some rainfall pushing into Nicaragua. Section of Honduras, northern Guatemala getting on some of the action as well. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that from now up until 10 p.m. on Saturday, there should definitely be some rainfall wherever we have the green, yellows, oranges, and reds, up to an inch of rainfall or less for portions of Dominica, Guadeloupe, sections of, well, not Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, section of Barbados, Guyana, southern Venezuela, western Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, especially eastern Nicaragua, northern Honduras, sections of northern Guatemala into Belize, into the eastern Yucatan, so to the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, southeastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos, Haiti, Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with that forecast, so the chances are higher for it to actually take place. The Eastern Pacific here not showing much of anything. Tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days. And this is the reason why nothing trying to organize at this time. A lot of upper level wind shear, tearing thunderstorms apart. So Sonia doesn't look like it's going to be happening. The Indian Ocean and the Western Pacific both have no suspect areas. So I guess season is definitely wrapping up. The Western Pacific here, not really much of anything to worry about at this time. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.